Hey, what's up, guys? We're back. Run It Back is back. That's right. Finals edition. We are 2 games into the NBA Finals. Things are happening. I'm Suli McCullough, my co-host Dan Ratner. It's time to talk basketball. Finals basketball.
I'm very excited, Suli. I was hoping that we'd get 2 finals editions, and I still hope we do, because I want to see a good series.
Yes.
But show us the jersey you're wearing. We always start there.
We're going to start it off with the jersey that I'm wearing. I'm going into the throwback file. Look at that. I mean, quality-wise, this classic Bucks jersey, it's 34. Giannis is 34, but this is taking it back. This is actually a Terry Cummings 34 jersey. Sand knit, 40, authentic, very difficult jersey to find. There was a time where people thought these were one of the ugliest jerseys ever made. I wholeheartedly disagree.
Yeah, I think they're great. Time has worn well on that.
Yeah, the color is great. I am a Bucks fan, kind of.
That's what they all say.
Yes, even after their poor performance. So I actually was really happy to find this jersey. This was one of those things that you scour eBay in hopes of finding a gem. I found a gem a long time ago. The Bucks are now in the finals since 1974, but it's not looking good.
Well, listen, I was born in 1974, so it is about time.
Yes,
it's about time.
Yes, it's been too long. And of course, I have to ask, what T-shirt are you wearing?
All right. Well, I'm wearing this T-shirt for 3 reasons, actually.
Okay, good.
This is one that takes a little more of an explanation.
Yes, please.
Okay, so the first thing is, one is an actual somber note, but this has some serious comedy to it. Okay, so the somber note I'll just get out of the way.
Okay.
I had one of my good basketball friends passed away yesterday, and I didn't know that.
Uh-huh.
This is the viewers, they've got bigger fish to fry.
But it's important. You got to rep your friend.
Well, and I think basketball is a game of caring, much more than a lot of other games. And so I'm wearing this for him because I wore it when I played against him in a particular game. He used to guard me. I used to guard him. Now, let me tell you the story of wearing this shirt.
Okay.
We would have light T-shirts and dark T-shirts, so we could switch for teams because no one was going skins. That's not happening.
Nope.
So I get to the game, and I pull this out. I just bought this shirt. I'm all excited to wear it.
Yep.
I put it on, and here's what it looks like. Now,
it's got the C.
I don't know if you can tell.
Yeah.
But this shirt is tiny.
Yes, I thought you were going for a intimidation factor.
Well, it actually did end up working that way. But
yeah?
I did not mean to buy a men's small.
Yeah.
But I did.
There's a joke that is well worn. A friend of mine does it on stage. We call that shirt a medium.
That's hilarious. This is like almost a bikini.
Yes, it does look like a youth XL.
But the weird thing is, if you play in a shirt that's this small, you feel like the Incredible Hulk. Like
yes,
it really helped.
Do you think that it helped you grab a couple of extra rebounds?
I hit 3 threes in that game. It might have been 4.
Nice.
And the other reason that I'm wearing it is because of the player.
Uh-huh.
Show you again. You can see the number.
That's 0. That's 0. The great Kevin Love.
It is Kevin Love, and we know we're going to be talking about him today.
Yes, we are. I like the foreshadowing. We just did a jersey T-shirt foreshadow, which takes us in the body of our show.
That's
so
right.
I think we need to just jump into prime cuts right now and get after it.
All right, let's do it.
All right.
So you take us in, Suli.
Well, the Phoenix Suns are 2 games away from winning their first NBA championship ever. And that's a pretty big deal. For a team that went undefeated in the bubble, they are now in the finals. They were a 2 seed for most of the year. A lot of people didn't take this team seriously. They figured, they would fall by the wayside. Oh, no. The Phoenix Suns are terribly serious. They are terribly serious.
And listen, who were some of the people who did take them seriously?
We took them serious.
Yeah.
Yes, we did. We gave the Suns their props. We're not just bandwagoners that just champion our teams. we give you props if you execute. And the Phoenix Suns in the NBA Finals so far are super executing. They're up 2-0. They're 2 games away from winning a championship. The series shifts to Milwaukee on Sunday, and Milwaukee better find a way, or this is going to be a quick series, and run it back is going to be done as we know it, which we don't want that to happen.
No, please, Bucks, keep us alive.
Yes, you've got to win just for us.
So here's one thing I want to say. There's a lot of people who will say, "Oh, well, if it weren't for injuries, this wouldn't be happening." I don't want to hear that.
No.
Nope. And you know why? Because the Suns play in the same universe as these other people.
Absolutely.
And they're getting it done.
They are absolutely getting it done. Well, quickly, let's just recap Game 2. The Phoenix Suns won 118-108. Devin Booker led the Suns with 31 points. Mikal Bridges was really the star of Game 2. He had 27 points. He looked unstoppable. Both Chris Paul and Devin Booker were drinking some of that super juice. I don't know if you saw that unmarked super juice that is in that weird plastic bottle. One said CP3 and one said Book. I don't know what's in that stuff, but I've got to find a way to get some of that because they were killing. Devin Booker, if you haven't had a chance to watch this guy play, he's super impressive. Like, he is a lot of people like to say, like, he was, Kobe was his mentor. That story has really been out there and pushed in the finals. But I kind of think he plays a little bit like a Joe Dumars from back in the day. He is a silent killer. I would say he plays like a mix of Joe Dumars with a little bit of Eddie Jones mixed in there. Like, you know what I mean? Like, he is just a classic 2-guard, which you just don't see anymore. Like, a lot of times you have, in the new NBA, a lot of scoring ones, like Damian Lillard scoring 1, Steph Curry is scoring 1. But a traditional 2-guard has kind of fallen by the wayside. So that's one of the great things about this NBA Finals is you're getting to see a explosive, burgeoning superstar at the 2-guard position doing what he does best.
Yeah, and another storyline that I know you love, and any true NBA fan would love, is the mentorship.
Yes.
The Suns brought in Chris Paul, and he not only has made them a championship team. I'm not saying that meaning they have won the championship, but
right.
he's a championship level team.
Right.
I do think they are going to win the championship, but he came in and changed the team now, but he's also changed this team for good. Once you've won a championship, you've got a different pedigree, a different belief in yourself, and he's also teaching all of these guys. They're all growing, and they're young.
Yes.
This team could be good for a very long time.
Well, one of the weird things about Game 2, and I was really excited to see what adjustments the Bucks were going to make, right? And I definitely saw an intensity out of the Bucks. You could tell they wanted to make a statement to sort of erase what happened in Game 1. But as the game went on, I never felt like they truly were in it. And I don't know if that makes sense to you.
Oh,
but
it does.
I just felt like the Suns played with a greater intensity. They were quicker to the ball. I felt they were sharing the ball more often. I just felt like the Bucks had, Giannis played great, and I have to give Giannis his props because he really gave it his all. He finished with 42 points and scored 20 in the third quarter, which is amazing. Like 20 points in the third quarter, it's the most in a finals quarter since Michael Jordan did it in 1993. So Giannis was clearly giving it his all. Like at one point they cut to the Bucks in a timeout, and he's pounding on a chair, and he's imploring his team to get into it. And I was like, okay, Giannis wants this. But I felt like looking at their offense seems stagnant.
Mm-hmm.
You know what I mean? Like, it felt like you've got one guy doing his all, and Giannis to me plays like one of those those girders, like those things that they use in those buildings to move the big steel things. Like that's what he plays like to me. He's like this muscular crane, you know?
Yeah, exactly. Move something big with this dude.
Yes, exactly. So he's coming in full throttle. He's getting his buckets. He's attacking. But I still feel like Giannis doesn't have any moves, really. You know what I mean? And I felt this way for a long time. This is a 2-time MVP. He clearly was engaged. He was super positive after the game, which kind of annoyed me a little bit. I love positivity. I'm not a negative person, but I'm also a comedian and I'm a realist. So it just felt like, Giannis, you're down 0-2, and I don't see enough adjustments.
Yeah, that's something we call the Cleveland Browns head coach face, where they look happy, and you're like, "What are you doing, being happy here?"
Yes. This is not the moment for pure happiness.
Not
the
the
weird
moment.
thing was this game 2, Chris Paul had a pretty decent game. He went for 23, which is good. Like game 1, he was phenomenal. Giannis had no help. None whatsoever. Drew Holiday, 17 points. Chris Middleton, 7 points. 7 points. I could score 7 points.
Listen. When a lot of your best scorers are outscored by PJ Tucker, you're in trouble. And that wasn't always true. That wasn't always true, but it is true now. I also want to say one other thing. This game, to me, was won in the second quarter. This is the kind of thing that people don't talk about.
Absolutely. That's a great point. Absolutely.
If you are a true NBA fan, you understand this is it's a chess match, or you could call it a boxing match. But
yes,
if a boxer wins in the 12th round, they sometimes won in the 4th round. If you were really watching it.
Yes. And this was a game, like I said, game 1 of the NBA Finals, or game 1s of any series, are feel-out games. You just trust, you're like, okay, let me see what they do. We're going to run our sets. Well, it's you're filling each other out. You're jabbing, you're bobbing, you're weaving, you're seeing what the defense gives you. You're attacking when you can attack. Watching game 2, the Bucks came out like they had this intensity, but by the end of the first quarter, the Suns were back in it. And I was like, that does not bode well. Yep. And I watched the rest of the game, and I watched it like, okay, we'll see what you're going to do. And at no point did I ever feel like the Suns were challenged or they never had to make adjustments to the Bucks. The Bucks were always trying to figure out the Suns, and that is a problem.
Yeah, and see, if you're a huge NBA fan, you see that kind of narrative. I remember one time I was watching the Cavs in a playoff game against the Hawks, and the Hawks were beating us by 15.
Yes.
And I turned to my brother and I was like, the Hawks are going down. He was like, what are you talking about? And I was like, they're shooting 85%.
Yep, that's not going to maintain itself.
They're not taking good shots.
Yep.
They're disorganized.
Yep.
If you really understand what's happening, you know.
And that's what I thought. That's what I thought about the Bucks watching game 2, and it really disappointed me because I felt like while Giannis was in both of these games, first of all, just to have Giannis make it back after this severe injury 9 days ago is truly unbelievable. In game 1, I sort of felt like, if nothing else, he was going to give his team that Willis Reed kind of thing where it's like this guy coming back out of injury to just give you a little spark to get the job done. And so I felt like in game 1, he had a pretty good game, but really gave his team a boost. Like, I'm here for you. Here's just a little push. You guys do the rest. Yep. I think both these performances were wasted performances in my book because it was him asserting himself, but all the other players were fragmented. And basketball is a team game, and the Suns are playing much better team basketball.
So here's my question: Do you think the Bucks can get back into this series? Can Mike Budenholzer get them back?
Mr. Budenholzer?
Yeah.
Can I just say this? Mike Budenholzer to me looks like a guy that was an independent contractor that got called into the White House to fix a sink on January 6th.
He does. He does. There's just certain people who look like not what they are.
Yes.
and it's very
He looks
enjoyable.
like he's not sleeping at all during this series. He looks unnecessarily disheveled. If I had to just base my assessment on can they get back on this game just on his overall appearance, I would have to say no, but I'm praying for them to get back into this series. Because as a basketball fan, this is what you wait for. Like, the finals to me are always this thing where I'm so excited because we've come to the big dance, the culmination, but then I'm also a little sad because I know once this is over, the NBA season is over.
I know, and for fans like us, it's like I don't.
Yes.
Don't.
Yes.
Just we won't talk about that. This is not happening.
Well, can I just say this before we move on? I am liking the Suns fans because they are absolutely passionate in a way that is almost terrifying.
It's true. It's true.
The cutaways make me laugh. It's, like every time they cut to the Suns fans, they've lately, in game 2 especially, they were sticking on this one 4-shot of people, and there were these 2 dudes that look like Shaggy from Scooby-Doo. Like, there was a dash, an undercurrent of meth involved. I can't confirm nor deny that, but it definitely had a sketchy little undertone to it. But they were so passionate about it. It definitely made me laugh. They did this thing in game 2. I don't know if you saw this, but they do a game in the Suns arena called Show Off Your Shoe. It's a show off your shoe contest. So I guess they isolate you, you hold up your leg, and show the shoe that you're wearing. This is Suns fans in a nutshell. A guy won this contest by taking off his prosthetic leg and waving it in the air. He had a Nike on his prosthetic leg, so good for him. He's just doing it. And he waved that around, and that's how he won the Show Us Your Shoe contest, which I think is Suns fans in a nutshell.
Yeah, listen, if you can take your leg off for that, you win.
Yes,
you win.
And you deserve to be at a finals game, and your team deserves to be up 0-2.
That is devotion. So
yes,
actually, there's one other thing I want to say about the finals before we do move on.
Okay.
And to me, it's about rankings. People TV rankings. Ratings. Sorry, people talk about TV ratings like, oh, we should have this team or this team. I never have thought that way.
Yes.
And here's why. You know what the star is of any NBA Finals? The championship.
Yep.
I don't care where you're from. If you have played and you win the championship of the NBA, that's serious business.
Absolutely.
Doesn't need to be LA, doesn't need to be New York, doesn't need to be Chicago.
It's the 2 best teams that get there. It is the closest thing to fairness that we have in sports. You know what I mean? You win, you move on. You lose, it's over. Sure, you can make excuses as to injury, health, but it all doesn't matter.
Now, we could go in lots of different directions, but I think I want to talk about Brooklyn Nets, James Harden, the beard, because I'm getting close to him.
Well, before we do that, I do have to take a check-in with the ultimate Phoenix Suns fan, and I would be remiss if I didn't do that.
All right, good. Let's do it.
We have to check in with Suns and 4 guy. Now, Suns and 4 guy is living his best life. Suns and 4 guy, let me catch you up if you don't know the story. Suns and 4 guy got into an altercation with 2 guys wearing Jamal Murray jerseys. It turned into a fight. They poured beer on him. He fought them back. He basically beat them down with one hand. He was holding one guy with a jersey, punching him with another, and undercut punching. And then he capped it all off by saying, Suns and 4, right? Well, this guy has become a beloved superstar in the Phoenix area, and he continues to live his best life. I don't know if you've seen this picture, but let me show you this picture because I think it just illustrates what Suns and 4 guy has become.
All right, let's see it.
Yep. He's now taking pictures with the opposing players. That's Jamal Murray there. And this guy is a bona fide celebrity. So I'm sorry. I don't want to cut off what the next story is. It's quite
you're
important.
Right. You're right.
But
it had to be highlighted. I mean,
Yes,
I'm not
yes.
for physical assault. However,
Yes.
he wasn't the initial aggressor from what I could see, and
No, they poured a beer on him. He just
and
defended himself.
they were wearing Jamal Murray, jerseys,
Yeah,
and here's Jamal
sure.
Murray with him.
Sure.
But the thing I did love is he was just kind of calmly holding the guy
Yes.
while talking to the other. He was like,
Yes.
I'm beating him
Yes,
down.
I'm beating up your friend who you probably got the tickets from and who paid for the beer that you poured on me, and I'm talking to you like an adult.
Yeah. Sons and
So, there you go.
And now it might
Sons
be
in four!
and now it might he said it twice. He was like Sons in four. Sons in four. All right, now let's get to James Harden. You know, I'm growing a beard that's starting to closely rival him. We're not quite there.
Yes.
But James Harden and rapper Lil Baby were reportedly detained by police in Paris for smoking marijuana.
Right. They were there for Fashion Week in Paris.
Yep.
And if you are a high-paid NBA player, what a great place to go in your off-season. I have never been to Fashion Week in Paris. I would love to go because I think there are some models that have to meet me.
Well, listen, and if I went to Fashion Week, I'd be smoking pot too.
Yes.
I just need to say it because the Fashion Week part's not my thing. But Paris, I'm up for that.
I'm into the fashion. I'm into the models. And if I was with Lil Baby and James Harden, I would also be into the weed.
Yep. All right. Now we got
here's the thing. Yes, we do. Let's show the picture.
Yep. That's a big blunt.
Yes, they're very wealthy. They're both very wealthy. So the wealthier you are, the bigger the blunts. Well, James Harden was let go, but Lil Baby was unfortunately arrested for transporting narcotics. They searched a vehicle that smelled like weed, and they found 20 grams of weed. Which I don't know if that's a lot or a little, but it's an amount. It's an amount.
I have no idea about grams, but here's what I do know. We've got to be taking certain things more seriously and some less seriously.
Absolutely.
Are we still arresting people for pot? Like that's weird to me. I'm just gonna come out and say it.
Yeah, especially when you're in Fashion Week in Paris. I can only imagine what some of the other models have in their little attachés.
Yeah. Well, listen, this is more of a football thing, but I think it relates to any sport.
Okay.
It drove me crazy that Josh Gordon keeps getting banned from football for pot.
Right.
And Ray Rice, physically attacks a woman, and you see it happen, and they're like, should it be 2 games or 4 games?
Right.
We got to get priorities.
There's a terrible inconsistency, and one thing that we're seeing is we're seeing more professional athletes being tripped up over this, but it's not a reflection of anything that really seems to matter. Alex Caruso, a couple of weeks back, was arrested for marijuana possession at a Texas airport. Sha'Carri Richardson, of course, the biggest story, she was left off the Olympic roster on the relay team, as well as representing America in the 100-meter individual race. So this has cost her a pivotal, defining moment in her career, and she admitted to smoking weed as a way of coping with the loss of her mother. So...
There's a lack of humanity.
Yeah, there is a lack of humanity. And I think, in this broader sense, we've got these rules that aren't reflective of where we are in life. I had a situation over the weekend where I was getting my son a haircut, and we were driving back. I was driving back to drop him off, and we had to go through a DUI checkpoint. And it was me and my son, and the police officer... said, have you smoked weed? Have you had any alcohol to drink? And can I see your ID? And he took me through the whole, whatever cops do when they pull a black dude and his son over. So I went through all of that. And I hadn't smoked weed. I hadn't had anything to drink. I did have my license, But I felt like as I looked at the other people of color that were being detained, and this was at 6:30 p.m., what is this about? What is this really about?
Right.
And then 2 days later, I'm driving on the 405. I see a guy next to me with a beard, windows rolled down, smoking a blunt on the freeway, carelessly. And I'm like, oh, I'm the problem and this guy's okay? Yep. So I feel like there's this giant contradiction where we really need to have some, we just need to walk back some of these laws because, especially what we've gone through with this pandemic, with everything that's going on, you got to have some coping mechanisms.
I think that's absolutely true. I also think there's a weird thing where this is a thing that some people complain gets talked about too much.
Yes.
Racial matters and things like that. And yet, it's also the elephant in the room that no one is talking about at the same time.
Sure.
So I appreciate you bringing it up. We're gonna get back.
It's also my reality too. So that's
No,
did I want to have the talk with my 16-year-old kid on Independence Weekend? That's not celebrating my independence. That's it was a giant contradiction.
That's the major problem I have with it is that black people and other people of color, they have to have these conversations with their kids about safety. That breaks my heart. That breaks my heart.
It made me want to smoke some weed when I got back.
Okay, speaking of smoking weed, somebody must have been high when they set the Olympic team roster. Because
wow.
I started to sound like Jerry Seinfeld right now. What is the deal with Kevin Love being on this team?
Well, let me just quickly list who's on this team. It's highlighted by Kevin Durant and Damian Lillard. The other Olympians are Bradley Beal, Devin Booker, Draymond Green, Chris Middleton, Jason Tatum, Bam Adebayo, Drew Holiday, Zach LaVine, Jeremy Grant, and last but not least, Kevin Love.
Yep. I don't understand what's happening there. What? I mean, if that's listen, if it was tokenism, as Jalen Rose said, can't we get a better white guy than Kevin Love at this point?
You would think so. But this is also another interesting wrinkle in what's going on with the NBA, where you have so many great European players repping white guys.
It's true. It's true. I was thinking, can't we get Luka Doncic?
Yeah, and it's like, he's not ours. He's not ours. We're leasing him with an option to buy. Maybe it's just a call that we need some better homegrown white NBA stars.
I think we do.
I root for the white guys. They're typically shooters. I love shooters. I don't discriminate. Kevin Love, first of all, he had a horrible season this year. Yeah. Like, his biggest highlight was him throwing the ball to the other team, which we discussed on this show.
It's true. And look, I'm a Cavs fan, so you'd think that I might like it, but I actually don't. I think he doesn't deserve that. He has been a great player.
Sure.
I appreciate him.
And he does have a gold medal, so he does bring some expertise in terms of what it takes in terms of the limited time that the Olympics are and the intensity that you have to bring against these other teams that have been playing together for a long time. So I will give him that. And I'm a Bruin, so I can't really hate on Kevin Love the way I want to.
I'm a therapist, and he has come out and talked about depression in open ways, so I completely applaud him.
He has a supermodel girlfriend. So there's many pluses when it comes to Kevin Love. I just think that this is a little weird.
All right, now, Suli, it's time for one of my favorite parts of the show.
Guys, it's time for Say What?
I don't know why it makes me laugh every time. I love it. All right, so in Say What, we're going to talk about this. Host of The Jump, Rachel Nichols, is in hot water over comments she made about her co-host, Maria Taylor. Nichols, who is white, very white, said Maria Taylor, who is black, earned the job to host 2020 NBA Finals coverage because ESPN was feeling pressure on diversity. Uh-oh. Ooh.
Yes.
I'm going to read the actual statement. She said, I wish Maria Taylor all the success in the world. She covers football. She covers basketball. Nichols said in July 2020 via the New York Times, if you need to give her more things to do because you are feeling pressure about your crappy long-time record on diversity, which, by the way, I know personally from the female side of it, like, go for it. Just find it somewhere else. You are not going to find it from me or taking my thing away. There's so much in this quote.
Yes. This is
almost
quite a
do.
heavy say what. It's there's a lot to unpack here. First of all, anytime someone says, I wish someone all the success in the world, they don't mean it. No. They don't mean it at all.
No. It's like when people say, I mean no offense, but, and you're like, oh,
right,
what's coming?
Right. Or don't take this the wrong way, but...
Yeah, you're like, okay, we know what's coming.
It's almost as bad as the incredulous, can I help you? You're not trying to help me.
No.
You're suspicious.
I think it's time we just call a spade on a regular basis. So I want your take on this.
I do have a definitive take on this, and this is from the perspective of someone who was a quote-unquote diversity hire. When I was hired to write on The Tonight Show, it was after Barack Obama secured the nomination, and an NBC executive said, this guy might be president. We should probably have a writer of color on staff on The Tonight Show if we're going to have a black president in America. They went to the diversity department at NBC, and lo and behold, there were no black writers. I had a friend that was on staff at The Tonight Show who said, hey, I think I may know the right guy. He reached out to me. Lo and behold, I got the job. I spent a year at The Tonight Show. It was one of those things that I always look at as a super positive experience. I felt like the things I learned in that corporate environment have affected me to this day. The thing that I liked the least about it was being termed a diversity writer. I'd never got into comedy in the entertainment business to be a diversity anything. I personally wanted to excel based on my own merit.
Yeah. Look, I think there's something insulting in it.
It absolutely is insulting. I had a situation where someone found out I was hired on The Tonight Show, reached out to me via Facebook and was like, oh, I heard you're a diversity hire and you got in. I'd love to talk to you about that. And once I read diversity hire, I was thinking to myself, yeah, I don't want to have a conversation if that's how you're looking at this, because I'm not going into this job looking at myself as a diversity hire. I'm looking at myself as a comedy writer that's trying to make an impact on this show and move this show forward.
No, it's a really good point, and I think you make the key point here, and as a therapist, I'm going to underline it. You've got to decide who you are.
Right.
You go ahead, and I don't care what they're going to say you are or what label they're going to put on you. You go be you, and it sounds like you did that. But I love that you didn't like the label.
Oh, I hated it. And there's this notion within minority community where we're brought up to know, my parents instilled in me, you have to be twice as good to get half as much. That's an adage that we live with and carry. So the term diversity hire is demeaning in that sense, where if you're doing twice as much to get half, it doesn't equate.
No, and it kind of sets you up for failure then. It's
Absolutely.
If you succeed, it's just washed away by that.
Right.
And if you fail, it just cheapens the entire thing.
Absolutely. And I think you should be open to the different experiences that your coworkers bring to the table.
Yep.
I think that makes for the best show. So what I would have liked to see is Rachel Nichols a little more comfortable in her skin and welcoming the fact that her co-host actually played basketball and probably has some insight that she doesn't, and as both them being women, that they could come together and shine together.
Yeah, and actually, I mean, she made this point. I mean, she was clearly taking a shot at the network about their longtime record on diversity, and she was making it about women as well. And I do acknowledge that is true, but it's just what you said. Why couldn't they be in it together?
Right.
Why couldn't this be a step
But
forward?
I also think this is a bigger argument about progress, about social change, where there's the viewpoint from the dominant side that somehow it's costing you something or you're losing something in the process, which I vehemently disagree with.
Yep. No, everybody can be powerful at the same time. It's
Absolutely.
not one or the other.
Absolutely.
All right, now we're going to move into Dunk of the Week, which as usual I have not seen, and then we're going to go into like a serious speed round of who's hot or who's not, because we missed some things in here that I definitely want to get to.
Okay, great. Well, the Dunk of the Week this week, I'm throwing a little homage to Giannis, because I need Giannis to get into this series even more so. He had a great game too, but I need him to get his team involved. So the Dunk of the Week involves Giannis Game 1, celebrating that he made it back to this series.
Let's see it.
Nice little dunk. A dude, nice little, let me move you out the way. Let me show you what I'm bringing to the table. I'm Giannis, damn it.
There was some crane in that.
Yes, there was. That was the crane. Move this heavy boulder over here.
I mean, I was watching it and I was like, where's the move?
Yep, and then you see it.
It never happened.
Yeah, then you see it. It's just, I'm bigger, I lift weights, and I'm positive.
And exactly.
It was Michael Landon in full effect.
Yes, Michael Landon is becoming a real theme on this show.
It really is.
All right, let's get into who's hotter and who's not. And we're gonna go through it like super fast in certain ways.
Great.
All right, first of all, we've got a lot of things going on in the coaching ranks.
Okay.
Let's just make some quick comments on it. The Dallas Mavericks made it official that Jason Kidd is their head coach.
I think this is a great hire.
Yep.
Love it.
And former Nike executive Nico Harrison is their GM. I don't know where.
I don't know what he does. I'm a fan
of
Nike.
Shoes?
Obviously, it's got to be the shoes.
It's got to be the shoes.
And he's got a cool name. You want a dude named Nico on your staff.
Oh, for sure. Now, Rick Carlisle is now going to be with the Pacers again.
He's going back. We talked about this a little bit on a previous episode to Run It Back. Apparently, there's so much shakeup in Dallas. He's like, you know what? I want to go where people know my name.
Yeah, exactly.
Did you like that?
I did, although it's made it sound like he went to Boston because it sounds like a Cheers reference.
Yes, yeah.
The Portland Trailblazers, meanwhile, named Chauncey Billups as their franchise's next coach. I love Chauncey Billups. I've always loved him. I love that. I think it was the 2007 Pistons, that team.
Yes.
That won it all. That people just didn't think it could happen.
Yeah, I wrote on the ESPYs that year. Chauncey wore a very heavy suit. It seemed like it was made of a woolen fabric of some sort, but an extra thick version.
It was
like,
burlap.
Chauncey's, yes, it did. It did have a burlap feel to it. And just his commitment in wearing that suit, I was like, oh, I like Chauncey.
Okay, now I'm going to make my traditional jokes about Brad Stevens. So
please, go for it.
He was made the president of the Boston Celtics just by being born.
Yes.
And then he knew that who was he going to hire? I think he was going to have to hire the blackest man that he could find.
Yes.
So
yes.
he went Nigerian.
Yes, he did.
That's
pure. That's pure.
I mean, I hope you don't mind me saying it. Feels
it's pure.
Like he's really doing a throw it on there.
Sure.
So, and I want to make sure I get the name right. So if I get it wrong, you correct me. Ime Udoka.
Yes.
Yes.
And here, can I give you a little fun fact? His lady friend is Nia Long.
Oh.
Yes.
Oh.
So Boston fans are excited to possibly see her courtside. I think we have a little Dwayne Wade, Gabrielle Union thing possibly happening in Boston, which is nice.
Well, the thing that the Celtics should be most excited about is that this guy's connected to the Popovich tree.
Yes, he comes from a very
nice
stock. And he just hired one of my favorite players of all time, Damon Stoudemire, to be an assistant. And I love Mighty Mouse. He was the Rookie of the Year. A ton of game. Doesn't quite get his props. So good things are happening in Boston. As much as we like to make fun of Brad Stevens, he's really wielding that magic.
Yeah, it's true. He's going to be the owner pretty soon. I'm almost positive. All right, so one other thing I want to get into is DeAndre Ayton had this statement about the 2018 NBA draft class. He said, I think it's the best class in NBA history. Now,
in NBA history, he said.
That is what he said. This was originally a say what, which I can't do as well as you, but
I like it.
So it was a great draft. Let's go through it just a little bit. DeAndre Ayton, number 1. Marvin Bagley, 2.
You're right.
Luka Doncic, 3.
Number 3.
Jaren Jackson, he's still a
not
possibility
bad.
to get
the
there.
Jury's out. He's young.
Jury's out, exactly. Trae Young at number 5. Mohamed Bamba.
Yeah, Mo Bamba. We just
Mo
call
Bamba?
him Mo. We just call him
Mo.
Mo in the hood.
People who know him they don't call him
we just call him
Mohamed
Mo.
Bamba.
That's my man Mo.
Yeah, Colin Sexton.
Yep, we love
Michael
Colin
Bridges
Sexton.
and Miles Bridges.
Yep,
Shai Gilgeous-Alexander.
who's great.
Michael Porter Jr., Dante
Right.
DiVincenzo, Lonnie Walker the 4th,
Yes,
Kevin Herter, and fine, I'll say Grayson Allen.
He's in there. You
He's
got to
in
give him. You got to give Grayson Allen his props.
Quickly, let's just talk about the best draft classes of all time. I mean, any draft class that has Hakeem Olajuwon, Michael Jordan in it, and Charles Barkley in it.
Yeah, who was
I don't
selected
know, listen.
5th?
This 2018 class is going to have to do a lot more
Right.
before it gets there.
There's a lot of talent in that draft class. That 84 draft class, phenomenal. The 96 draft class is probably my personal favorite, headlined by the great Kobe Bryant, Allen Iverson, the number 1 pick in that draft, Ray Allen, 2-time champion, Stephon Marbury, who is all-world, Steve Nash, the 2-time MVP, and I'll just throw Marcus Camby in there just as, and here's another dude that balled out.
Yeah, and there's the 2003 class, the LeBron James class.
Sure.
With Dwayne Wade. I feel like I could just stop there. LeBron James and Dwayne Wade. That's pretty good. It's not as good as Olajuwon, Jordan, and
just
Barkley.
to make it fun, why don't you throw in Carmelo and Chris Bosh just to go, yeah, there's players in there.
Not only that, but those were in the top 5.
Yes.
And there was also Darko Milicic. We'll
Right.
Just say that.
Right.
Pretend that didn't happen.
Right.
Okay, let's get into a couple of other exciting things, like Torrey Craig can get a ring no matter who wins. That's exciting.
Fantastic. That's fantastic. Talk about hedging your bets.
Yeah.
He started with the Bucks this season and is currently playing for the Suns. Let me ask you this though: Would you feel good? Say the Bucks win it all, and that's probably not going to happen.
Yep.
If you were Torrey Craig, would you get a ring?
Ooh, it would not be my preferred way. That's for sure.
Right.
I mean, you want to feel like you're an active part of it.
Right.
You
Part
don't
of it
wanna-
is pouring the champagne on you, not, I'll see you when we play Milwaukee and get my ring.
Yeah, no, that's not the preferred way.
Right.
Okay, another thing to note: Nate McMillan. We should have done this in the coaching thing, but I'm actually kind of glad he's getting his own props.
He gets his own props because he was an interim coach. He over-delivered. The things they did in Atlanta are phenomenal. So congratulations to him and his 4-year deal. That's great. Nate McMillan is a real one.
So well deserved. Now, Luka Doncic was asked if he would prefer to win the gold with Slovenia or an NBA championship with the Mavericks, and he said, this was very definitive, he wouldn't mind both.
There you go.
It's
Way
so
to go.
it's so
Way
understated.
Way to go.
I was like, well,
Way to go.
You are white if you're going to say something like that.
That's very tactical.
All right. The world's rarest Steph Curry autographed basketball card has sold for...
Get this.
You ready?
$5.9 million.
Yeah, it was a lot less than Tobias Harris's contract, but
yes.
even so, listen, I'm sure that's worth it. But
well,
who
here's
has the money
thing.
to spend
Cards have become so popular. This was a graded card. We actually have this card. I want you to take a look at it. It's a 1 of 1. It's from the National Treasures. It's a rookie logo man auto card. The previous record was for the Luka Doncic, which sold for $4.6 million. And this stuff is, there's basketball card collecting is like gambling. There's very high-end product. This is one of the best cards you could get in that product. It was graded an 8, but the autograph was graded a 10. They not only grade the condition of the card, but the condition of the autograph. So if you get Steph signing in the morning when he's feeling good about himself, that will probably be a higher graded card. So somebody paid a lot of money, and they really like Steph Curry.
Yep, and I listen, everybody's entitled to buy whatever they want. Personally, I have buyer's remorse over this, even though I didn't buy it. Okay?
Sure, I get it.
All right, now there's some great honors going out there that I just want to make a note of. Speaking of Carmelo Anthony, Portland Trailblazers forward Carmelo Anthony is the inaugural winner of the NBA's Kareem Abdul-Jabbar Social Justice Champion Award. This is great. You know, it's great that they have awards like this.
Yes, I love this.
This
is an award that honors, that it was created to honor and recognize a player for pursuing social justice and upholding the league's decade-long values of equality, respect, and inclusion.
Yep.
We love that. Those are things that we should aspire to in our society, and good for Carmelo.
Now, the 2020-21 NBA Hustle Award goes to
I
Thaddeus
love this.
Young.
I love the name.
Oh, gotta love it.
Yeah.
He joins previous winners Patrick Beverley, Amir Johnson, Marcus Smart, Montrezl Harrell.
Yeah.
And listen, so we know what this means. This means Thaddeus Young is going to be in the NBA playoffs, and he's going to shove Chris Paul in the back. Because that's what happens to the Hustle Award winners.
When you win that, yes. I think they should rename this the Jay-Z Hustle Award because it just sounds nice.
It does. It needs a little more. I mean, the Hustler deserves more than that.
Yes, exactly. Can we put a little more props on the Hustle Award? But I love this. Congratulations, Thaddeus Young. Diana Taurasi became the first player in WNBA history to score 9,000 points. That's pretty incredible. And she had come back after missing a month of games with a fractured sternum. So she came back and into the record books. We love that.
This is one of the things I love about the show. We cover everything. We're not even going to miss the WNBA, and I hate even to think that it's thought of that way. These are professional athletes that have worked hard.
Right.
And she's always been incredible. I love it.
Yep.
Now, one last thing before we go to Sneaker Vault, because I want to see those shoes.
Yes, you do.
One of the greatest streaks in NBA history has come to an end.
What?
Yes. Get ready. A former teammate of Shaquille O'Neal has made it to 37 straight NBA Finals. So some teammate of Shaq has made it to 37. It's kind of like, I used to do this with baseball, that like Pete Rose played with, who was it? I forget who, but they played with Honus Wagner. It was like, woo! That's a long time ago.
That's quite a connect right there.
It is. So
this is like the everyone is connected to Kevin Bacon thing.
Exactly.
Everyone is connected to Big Shaq.
Yep. And when the Clippers, Rajon Rondo was eliminated, that streak was over.
Oh man. Well, I think Shaq's going to be okay. In fact, he's probably shooting 37 commercials right now as we're doing this show.
Yep, and meanwhile, he's like giving money to people and helping people out. And his motto, he says, my motto lately is, it could be worse, and that could be you.
I love it.
Love you, Shaq.
We're going to Sneaker Vault. Because I wore a Bucks jersey and I'm giving the Bucks their props, I don't want you to think that I don't know the story is all about the Suns right now. So I'm breaking out a pair of Steve Nash Air Max 90s and the Suns colorway commercial. These haven't even been out of, like, these are dead stock, okay? These still have the paper on them. I'm not even going to take the second shoe out. This is an Air Max 90 Quick Strike in Phoenix Suns colors. I bet Suns and 4 guy would pay upwards of hundreds of dollars just to beat someone up in these shoes. So this just lets you know, my parents live in Tucson. We'll see how it all plays out, but I've got the shoes just in case there's a parade.
One of my favorite things about this shoe and the way you did it is I actually got the feel of it because the paper, you know how the paper's it's coming out
the paper
everywhere,
was loud and crinkly. But the details that you did on this shoe, this is a great Air Max 90. If you're an Air Max 90 collector, you're probably salivating. Look at the interior on the shoes there. I mean, they're really kind of nice. I may have to break these out today. These might be un-DS today. Well, I'll save it. We'll see if they get two more games.
If they win the championship, you got to wear those.
Oh, I'm definitely rocking these. Yeah, these I stored away just in case. And lo and behold, look at where we are.
Yep. Suns fans, you can send your thanking mail to Suli at... I don't know.
Yes.
All right, we're going to finish up on the ladies again, in a way.
Okay, our final thought, our final basketball thought. We talked about Chauncey Billups being hired as the Portland Trailblazers head coach. We had talked about this earlier on Run It Back, but Becky Hammonds was in the running, which I thought was a great choice She also comes out of that talent pool with the San Antonio Spurs, but they didn't hire her at the end of the day. And this raises an issue of, did they just use her for name value and to make the search process seem wider than it was?
Yep. That's the question. What I do like about it anyway, though, even when people do things like that, it sometimes opens the door for something later.
Yes.
It changes the perception on what is possible.
Yes.
And so it may not have been for the right reasons. I don't know.
Right.
I'm not saying it wasn't.
Right. But
it still opens the door for it. There is going to be a female head coach in the NBA. And I'm excited to see it. I think it furthers us. And this is very different than a diversity hire, which I totally agree with you. That should not be in the lexicon, really.
Right.
But opportunity should be there, that initial opportunity, and then let them perform on the same level as everybody else. I can't wait to see it personally.
Absolutely.
Now, one last thing I'll say is I sure hope this isn't the last run it back with the season still going. Come on, Bucks.
Yeah, we need you, Bucks. We're not ready to end this show. We're hoping for the best. There's a game on Sunday and then a game on Tuesday. Come on, Bucks. We need you. But if not the Bucks, come on, refs.
Yeah, come on. But Suli and I will find a way to talk basketball no matter what's going on. We can talk basketball.
Absolutely.
Anytime.
And we do have Olympic basketball. So.
Also, the NBA season is going to be in like 2 weeks after the finals. So
exactly.
It'll be
totally they're giving them 1 week to smoke weed, and then it's just, and then back to work. As always, this is nothing but a pleasure. Basketball fans, we appreciate you. We will be back, we hope, with one more Run It Back to break down the NBA Finals. I'm Suli McCullough. My co-host is Dan Ratner. We will see you again. Thanks.